Fabrizio, hello, welcome. First of all,
Ciao.
I have to ask you, where are you? Because that tan is unbelievable. One I am very, very, very jealous of.
I am in the Maldives because for me international break is the perfect time. Then the next 6 months will be quite busy, so I had to be here international break and then back to business in a few days.
I
Have you
absolutely
actually taken
love
a proper break? Proper break?
Yeah. I mean, you always have news, So for me, break is working while I am in a nice place. So let's call it like this.
Fabrizio, the first thing that I'm going to ask you about, I think, is what's been on every single person's lips over the last couple of days is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Is him and Real Madrid now a foregone conclusion? Will he be at Real Madrid next season?
I think yes. I think we are really at the final stages of this story, still waiting for Trent to sign the contract. And obviously, when it's about free agents, it's really important to wait for that final step because everything can change in 5 minutes. But the understanding is that everything is almost agreed. It's just about the final details of the contract. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold will be a new Real Madrid player on a 5-year deal. The agreement is really close. They already started exchanging all the documents in terms of official proposals. So we wait really for the final steps. Then Liverpool will be informed by Real Madrid at the right moment as soon as they get everything signed and completed. And so my expectation is absolutely for Trent to be a new Real Madrid player in the summer.
It's good that the Liverpool fans have taken this well. Some of the comments on social media have been outrageous, but the one I enjoyed the most was the corner wasn't even taken that quickly, which I quite liked. But I think for the Liverpool fans, Fabrizio, are Liverpool going to replace Trent? Obviously, they have Conor Bradley, and I think a lot of fans probably think that Conor Bradley can step up, but what do you know? Is that their plan, or are they going to dip into the transfer market to replace Trent? Because he is going to be a big miss.
He's going to be a big miss, but they really love Conor Bradley, not just the fans. I can guarantee that also internally at the club, they are convinced that Conor can be the next big thing for Liverpool. So I'm sure they will give him a lot of confidence in the next years, I would say, because they trust him. They believe he has a big potential. He's already a very good player. So I see Liverpool trusting him. Then maybe they can add one more player in that position. It's a possibility. But don't forget that for Liverpool, it's going to be an expensive and important and busy summer already in several other positions, because I see Liverpool adding one more left back. I see Liverpool also interested in centre backs. They made some calls in the recent weeks. Midfield, and then the attacking department with Darwin Núñez, who could leave. Let's see also what happens with Luis Diaz. I think Liverpool will be really, really busy in the summer. So let's see also in terms of budget how much they want to spend on fullbacks. But for sure, they see Conor Bradley as someone who can be absolutely trusted for that position.
Fabrizio, great to see you as ever. I'm glad that I'm not next to you on this screen, though. Otherwise, I would look like a vampire compared to you. There's distance, thankfully, between my pale skin and yours. Now, you mentioned the Liverpool left back. You mentioned the Liverpool left back. Let's go into that a bit more specifically. How likely at this stage do you think Milos Kerkez is to a move to Anfield?
I think it's a good possibility. It's not something guaranteed. It's not something close or advanced at this stage. It's still early, So I think it's going to take some weeks and months before we understand where he's heading. But for sure, Liverpool are interested in Milos Kerkez. He's a player they like. Richard Hughes, Liverpool director, had the player at Bournemouth, so knows him so well, not just in terms of how good he is on the pitch, but also how good and professional he is out of the pitch. And for Liverpool is something absolutely important. Then the potential of this boy, they're convinced at Liverpool that he's really one for the present, but also for the future eventually. So for sure, he made the list. He's one of the 3-4 names they're monitoring in that position. Then we have to see in terms of negotiation with Bournemouth, how much they will ask, how is going to be the eventual conversation. And also remember that Kerkez in January signed with a new agent. The agent is Ramadani, the same agent of Federico Chiesa, very good relationship with Liverpool. So that's also a point. So the interest is there for sure. Let's see what Liverpool decide to do, but I would include his name in this busy summer for Liverpool.
And all the talk has been about Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think, to use your quote, you said he was choice 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it looks like they're going to get him. But centre-back's another area that maybe is not guaranteed Real will strengthen in, but it feels like that might be possible. Could Dean Huijsen, currently in excellent form, be a possibility for Real Madrid? And if not, where else might he go?
Yeah, it's a possibility for sure, because as you mentioned, they are still assessing internally whether they want to invest on a centre-back or not. The initial idea around October, November was to do something in that position. Then what happened is that Raul Asensio started performing in an incredible way, and so they have Raul Asensio with a new contract. They have Tony Rudiger, Alaba, Militao is going to return from his the ACL injury. So that's why Real Madrid decided to start waiting a bit before making any decision on a centre-back. They will decide soon, before the summer transfer window, but Huijsen is a player they like. They really like the boy. He is Spanish, and that's the point. Imagine having a future pair of centre-backs with Huijsen, with Raul Asensio, could be something really attractive for Real Madrid. He has already disclosed £50 million, so it's not a complicated negotiation eventually for Real Madrid. So they like the player. They are monitoring the player. There will be many clubs interested in the boy, because already since January, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, but for Newcastle it's going to be difficult. Bayern also, don't forget about Bayern. All these clubs started calling the agents of Dean Huijsen to be informed of the situation. So I think it's going to be quite crazy race for this boy. But Real Madrid are interested. Then they have to decide internally whether they want to invest on a centre-back or not.
Fab, it seems like I ask you often about this one, but the pursuit of Zubimendi, how is that looking like for Arsenal?
Look, it's still a good possibility, and it's still one of the top names on Arsenal list. Is a conversation started around end of December, beginning of January for the summer. It was never for the January window. And so Arsenal already made some progress a few months ago. Now there is a new director in charge, Andrea Berta, who already signed the contract, so everything will be official soon. And Andrea Berta will take care of this process with Zubimendi, with Real Sociedad, with the agent of the player. He has already disclosed, but with that kind of clause, around 60 million euros, you always try to negotiate and to find maybe a different way in terms of payment structure. So that's what Arsenal will try to do. But the conversation is ongoing for Zubimendi and Arsenal. Then we know what happened 1 year ago with Liverpool. The boy had possibility to go to Liverpool, and he decided to stay at Real Sociedad. So Arsenal are very careful till the end of the story, but they remain interested in the player. And then there are these links about Real Madrid. I think these links are because of Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is a big fan of Zubimendi. 1 year ago, when Xabi Alonso was close to joining Bayern, and then he decided to stay at Leverkusen, he already told Bayern at some point about his appreciation for Zubimendi. So imagine how much he likes the player. I think this is why we have many rumors about Real Madrid, because eventually, if Xabi Alonso will be new Real Madrid coach, that could be a possibility. But at this stage, Arsenal are still working on the deal.
Oh my gosh. Well, what about Arsenal and Spurs? Spurs and Man City in for Tyler Dibling. And is Southampton's 100 million price tag, is that genuine from Southampton?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's what Southampton wants. Then, there is still 2 years left on his contract. So let's see also was the player position, the conversation at the end of the season between the player and Southampton. But as of today, this is what Southampton want. They believe he's one of the best players in the world in terms of potential in his position. And so they believe it's not easy to find that kind of talent at his position at this age. And so this is why Southampton are asking for important money. At the moment, I can confirm that for Tottenham, he's kind of top target. They love the player. They would love to bring it in the summer transfer window. But again, it's not going to be super easy. Man City, let's see, because City at the moment are following the player, but from what I heard, they didn't start any concrete conversation. He's also kind of dream target for Manchester United. He's a player they like, but very expensive, and we know with financial fair play how complicated it could be for United. So let's see what happens there. But it all depends on Southampton, I think. If they keep asking for this money, it's going to be complicated. Otherwise, I think some of these clubs could try to jump in and get the player, especially Tottenham.
We'll talk about Jadon Sancho in just a second. Oh, sorry, Joel, did I interrupt?
No, it's interesting. And I'm interested to hear about Jadon Sancho as well. Go on, Liv.
No, we'll talk about Jadon Sancho in a second, because obviously his situation is quite interesting, whether Chelsea can return or keep him. But they want a left-sided, right-footed winger. I mean, is there anyone that Chelsea are currently interested that fits that mould?
Look, there is a player that all the clubs looking for wingers want to add to their squad in the summer, and the player is Nico Williams. Even before the Euros 1 year ago, he was a dream target for Chelsea. For Arsenal, is the same. So I would mention Chelsea, Arsenal, Bayern, these three clubs for sure. Then we know what happened 1 year ago with Barcelona. They wanted the player, but he was not so convinced about changing the team. So let's see what happens also at Barca in terms of financial fair play. But Nico Williams, I think, is going to be the desire of all these top clubs for the summer transfer window. So for sure, Chelsea want to add one more winger. For sure, Chelsea want to add one more striker. It's going to be a busy window also for Chelsea. Nico Williams is the dream target for all these clubs. But again, it really depends on the player. And it's a similar situation to Zubimendi. You have to convince the player. It's not just about paying the release clause, but it's the player position. And so let's see what happens there. But for sure, Chelsea will add one more winger in general in the summer transfer window.
I mean, when did Chelsea not have a busy transfer window? Honestly, I'm actually looking forward to the day when when we sign 2 players and it was just what we need, and that's good. Okay, Fabrizio, Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Chelsea can pay 5 million, and obviously send him back to Manchester United. Is this likely to happen, or can you see a situation where Chelsea are planning for a future with Jadon Sancho?
Oh, look, at the moment, Chelsea have not made any permanent decision. I think we just have to wait. Chelsea now don't want any distraction for this story, because obviously Champions League spot is too important for Chelsea. And then at the end of the season, they will assess the situation. What I can say is that Jadon Sancho would love to stay at Chelsea. Of course, the recent months were not at the same level at the beginning of the season, so the player knows that, of course. But he would love to stay at Chelsea. Then it depends, I think, also on these final games. The impact of Jadon Sancho in these final games can really change his future. Because if he's going to make a big impact, I think it's going to be obviously a good opportunity for Chelsea to pay the money, £25 million, and get the player on a permanent transfer. Otherwise, I think there is still a possibility for them to change their mind and send him back to Man United. What I can guarantee is that in general, I don't see Jadon Sancho playing for Man United next season. So eventually, even if he comes back to Man United, the expectation is for Sancho to leave and try maybe a new chapter elsewhere.
That's really interesting. I mean, I'm going to ask Liv about how she feels about Jadon Sancho later on in the show. When it comes to Alexander Isak, we know that Arsenal are fans, Liverpool are fans, and many more clubs as well. But could Newcastle tie him down to a new deal before the summer window opens?
They will try, for sure, Joe. They will try till the end. They want to try to offer important money to show their ambition once again. So Newcastle will try. But my feeling is that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but Alexander Isak has always been super professional, super committed, so I don't think this contract story will really change his performances. He's going to do his best for Newcastle till the end, but then we have to see what happens when Arsenal and Liverpool, because I expect these 2 clubs to arrive with important proposals in the summer, and at that stage we have to see what the player decides to do and also what kind of conversation he will have with Newcastle. But on club side, they keep saying that they will try till the end to extend his contract, to keep the player, and to make Isak as the face of their project also for the future. So I think it's going to be a big fight in the summer for this fantastic striker.
And the last one, Fabrizio. What about Marcus Rashford? Do you expect Aston Villa to take the 40 million option to buy? And can the player still move elsewhere, even if Villa do choose to trigger it?
Yeah, look, Aston Villa are very happy with Rashford in general. So I don't think, in any case, if they decided to trigger the £40 million buy option clause, I don't think they do that just to sell the player again. So in that case, I see Marcus Rashford staying at Aston Villa and having the opportunity to make something long-term with the club. What I can say about Marcus Rashford is that it's going to be really important to understand financially what happens for Aston Villa. So now they're obviously fully focused on the quarterfinals of the Champions League to see what happens in Premier League table from now to the end of the season. That's going to be obviously really important. And then we have to see financially, also for financial fair play. Remember what happened 1 year ago with Aston Villa. They had to sell Douglas Luiz. So in terms of financial balance, if they have the possibility, I think they will try to keep Marcus Rashford at the club. Don't forget also about the salary. It's a big salary. So financially, it's not an easy deal. But they're very happy with the player. And when I say they, it's about the club, the management, the board, and also obviously the coach. Unai Emery is very happy with the attitude of Marcus Rashford. So I think if they have the possibility financially, they will try to keep the player. Otherwise, he will go back to Man United.
And just before I let you go, Fabrizio, because I think you need to find a tanning bed. You're obviously not brown enough, so I will let you return to the Maldives shortly. But spoiler alert, a little bit later on the show, we're playing a game with Joel and Olivia, which is called Footballer or Cheese. And the concept is basically you hear a name and you have to guess if it's a footballer or a cheese. And I know that Joel and Olivia are going to be rubbish at this game. So I'm going to have you set the standard by asking you 2 quick questions. You're going to nail this because you know your footballers, you know your cheese. So
he's
here we go.
Of course he's going to know cheese.
Absolutely, but that's what I mean.
But that's
setting the gold standard.
So it's okay.
It's going to be too easy for him. It's going to be too easy.
I promise you he's going to get both of these. Question number 1, Fabrizio Romano. Manchego, cheese or footballer?
Repeat, please, the name.
Manchego, cheese or footballer?
Cheese.
It is the correct answer. Question number 2, Lizarazu, cheese or footballer?
Ooh.
Fantastic footballer, fullback. I remember him well at Bayern. Great player.
And
There
for
we
France
go.
as well.
2 out of 2.
Oh,
Fabrizio
brilliant.
showing
look,
us
also the
how
Bayern
it is
picture,
done.
Oh,
That's
that
good.
is brilliant. Thank you so much, Fabrizio. I hope next time you're on the podcast, that tan has faded, because I don't think I can deal with that again.
For sure. I promise, for sure. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on. Don't forget, you can ask Fabrizio Romano your questions, and he will
Thank
do
you.
his very best to respond to them in the GMS newsletter. Of course, you can head over to the Give Me Sports website, or you can scan the QR code, which you can see on your screen now. Thank you very much, Fabrizio. We will see you later.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Thank you. Bye, bye, bye. Ciao. Thank you.